there will be people within the party who will certainly be frustrated to hear that, because it's one of the things that he said. He has been pretty adamant, I'm going to stop these. So they've introduced a number of different policies to try and make that happen. It seems that he's much more conscious of the fact that as the weather's improving, it's going to be a summer of a lot of these boats coming. It's not going to be as easy as they'd love it to be. Well, he's speaking the truth, isn't it? I mean, we all know that everyone wants to see these boats stop, because we saw people dying last year. People will die again this year. Everyone wants to see it stopped. But there is no single solution to this. Some people think, well, they're actually doing all they can in terms of trying to get the French on board to try and stop this happening. But if you overpromise, which I think they were in danger of doing a few months ago, you can't underdeliver. And look, let's face it, it is impossible to stop all boats coming across the channel. It is impossible. So let's just accept that and try and reduce them to the lowest possible number. But as you said, he made that promise.
Yeah, he's standing on a podium which says, stop the boats, stop the boats. And then, you know, what you've got instead is these eye-catching symbols of we're doing something, like we're going to have a big barge where we're going to put all these migrants, which are, you know, they are simply gestures which we know are not really going to be anything other than hopefully a deterrent. But, you know, Rwanda wasn't a deterrent. We had record numbers of people coming over across the channel last year when the Rwanda policy had already been announced. So do you think any of the people coming across from France are even aware of a Rwanda policy that then never gets put into practice because they can't? I don't think so. And I also don't think, you know, the idea of people who are prepared to risk their lives coming across the channel, the idea that they're going to not do it because they don't like the kind of accommodation that might be provided for them here, it does seem laughable. But he stood in front of a podium saying, stop the boats. This is their big campaigning thing that we're going to hear until the next general election. So it's interesting that he's now, when he's sort of pinned down on saying they're going to be stopped, he admits that they can't be, because he knows. He knows but at least in that interview, he didn't indulge in the sort of pseudo-racist language that the Home Secretary has been indulging in. I mean, that is a story in all the papers today.
On the front of The Guardian
today. Quite right, too. It is an absolute disgrace what this woman is doing.
And why doesn't he distance himself from her?
Well,
because he can't.
He's he is under pressure to do so. There is a quote here, it's on the front of The Guardian today, senior Tories are turning against Braverman herself, the Home Secretary. It says here, a former senior minister from Boris Johnson's government has told The Guardian that they believe Suella Braverman was, and I quote, a real racist bigot. I mean, they describe her language as grotesque. This is within the party. And she has one of the great offices of state. You know, she is the Home Secretary here. What do you think is going on?
Well, there are rumours of a reshuffle coming up, and the rumour is that she will be ditched.
Oh, really?
But she will not go quietly.
Well, she's been strident, hasn't she? And also, she was only put in place, one assumes, not because of her experience. She is a very clever woman, but also because she brings with her the right of the party. You know, those Brexit...
which is completely overdone. And Rishi Sunak fell for it. That's what I could never understand when she was reappointed. Because remember, she had been Home Secretary under Liz Truss, and Liz Truss sacked her. So, and then Rishi Sunak brought her back. I mean, it defied logic, because there wasn't this block of supporters that she had to bring over to Rishi Sunak.
But that was the impression that he...
Somehow she convinced him that she had all these people.
But he doesn't really... Does he need that side of the party, even if that were the case, that she does bring over the sort of ERG group and whatnot?
I mean, look, all parties are coalitions, and so you kind of want to have people from all sides of the party in your administration. There's nothing wrong with that. And he could have appointed her to a more junior position, but chose not to.
And what's interesting is that there is a real sense that her rhetoric and her language, you know, sort of about the British Pakistani men, talking about migrants as invaders and so on, all of that's been building up and building up and building up, actually could really cost the Conservatives some swing voters. Yes, well, I think so, but it might also appeal as a dog whistle to some other voters who would like the Conservative Party to be more right-wing. I mean, the thing that's really worrying about Suella Braverman is not only she used this incendiary language, but she also said things that are inaccurate, that she doesn't correct, because she knows that they're going to stoke up this kind of division. This division is politically useful. And, you know, the thing about Rishi Sunak is he doesn't have a mandate. He didn't get a vote from the party or from the government. He is in a weak position, and maybe he feels he needs people like that on side.
Do you know what he needs? He needs some rules.
Oh, goodness.
He needs some rules to establish how he goes about life in public office.